This is the first full-length animated feature you two direct. Could you tell us something about yourself and your careers, please?
Well, we've both worked at Aardman a long time. My first experience was on Chicken Run when I was doing work experience, and I've worked on many projects since then, but mainly in the animation role. So I was a lead character animator in Shaun 1 and on Early Man animation director, and I've worked on Shaun's series as well.
So I joined Aardman for Shaun Series 3 as a storyboard artist. I've also written for the series, and I was head of story on the Farmer's Llamas, and senior story artist on Shaun the Sheep #1, Early Man, and now director on Farmageddon.
What is the origin of this idea about aliens and the farm, and who came up with this zany and funny premise?
Well, it's a great mixture of people, but it starts with a very small team, and Richard Starzak and Mark Burton, who created the first film, they've been very encouraging to us through the process of this film. We had some success with Shaun 1. Shaun wanted to explore the big city, and on this film we wanted to bring a character to the farm. So in one of these discussions someone suggested an alien comes to the farm, and from that moment onwards everyone got very excited because there's a lot of sci-fi fans at Aardman. It was a brand new area. We'd never made a sci-fi film before, so it really snowballed from there.
The Shaun the Sheep series is full of colorful and hilarious characters. Do you have some favorites?
Well, Bitzer is my favorite. Whenever I write for him, I love how sweet he is, but always a little bit behind everyone. So he's not quite as clever, but he has a good heart.
Yeah, and I love animating with Bitzer as well, because he's just stuck in the middle, and everyone can relate to that, being the one that's got to be responsible. Whereas Shaun, he's always just having fun, and he doesn't have to worry about the consequences.
The most fascinating thing about the Shaun the Sheep franchise is the lack of the dialogue. How much work is needed to build a story without dialogue and what's your workflow?
Oh, loads. So there are times we wish Shaun or any of the characters could talk, but we make sure that they never do. So we rehearse and write and then storyboard, and we show it to people and we go, do you understand what they're saying without saying? And then it's just like 2 years of doing this until we have the whole film, and then once it's ready we start to shoot.
And we had, in this new film, we have a new character who's an alien. So even for her we had to create a kind of dialogue that no one understood. But we worked really hard even on that. She only has maybe 3 or 4 alien words, but even those words, we had to be really clear about when she would use them and what they meant. So it's been a long challenge.
Okay, last question is about the future. And you got a second Chicken Run movie and scheduled for the 2022, it's true, okay. What can we expect for this sequel?
Well, it's characters that everyone knows and loves, but in a completely different environment and setting. So they are currently making lots of chickens back in the studio, and we can't say too much about the story, but the team that's involved with it, a very experienced Aardman team, it's going to be funny, it's going to be engaging, and it's going to hopefully be enjoyed all over the world.
Yeah, I can't talk about the story, but I can tell you whenever I go in the studio, it's filling up more and more with chickens, so it's going to be really big.